to the surprise of nobody, Snake Eyes is not only a flop, but it's also terrible. Hello everyone, I'm Mecha. Oh, this is a fun article. I'm just now seeing the headline here. I got a couple of little box office updates for, what was it, Space Jam and Snake Eyes. A couple movies that, let's face it, the world can live without. And I did actually look and see what the whole entire headline is. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Box office drops with Old, Snake Eyes, Black Widow, and Space Jam. But is it the Coof or dynamic windows? Oh, I blame Hollywood just being bad and having bad movies and bad entertainment. Who am I? I am Mecha. I'm your favorite YouTube consumer advocate. And I am a bit of a harpy. It is no surprise to anyone that a G.I. Joe movie that has nothing to do with G.I. Joe would be poorly received by the public, especially when they swap-a-Rudy the character to turn him into a stereotype that we were moving away from in the 1980s. Oh yeah, and when they make it, they're making him a bad guy in his own movie. You saw that in the thumbnail. No surprise there, but here, we're gonna rip on it anyway. Deadline, they're blaming the Coof. I'm not going to readjust it. Deadline, fix your headlines to where they take up the same amount of space as everything else, because it just looks better on screen. So you want the box office totals, and then we'll get into why he's a villain in his own. That was the funny one. 16 million, let's see, Old and Snake Eyes. Old beat everybody with 16 million, and Snake Eyes is at 13 million. Remember when we get like $1 billion opening weekend or something, or we get like, I got 600 million opening week. Remember those days? Yeah. That's when movies were a little bit better, huh? Or did they just make us believe they were better, and now we had like a year to say, wait a minute, these movies weren't that good anyway. I think a lot of people were doing that. I was kind of a curmudgeon anyway, but I'm a bit of a quick reactor to some of these things. I did not see Old, but an M. Night Shyamalan movie out of the blue beating a ginormous comic booky, franchisey, genre-y, nostalgia bait property is kind of pathetic. It's kind of pathetic, really. It just really is kind of pathetic. Space Jam 2 is what, now down to 3? Everybody realized that Space Jam, I tried to watch half of it. I couldn't make it through there, but there's a lot of stuff in there that I just don't give a crap about. I also kept having to ask Rob, I'm like, wait a minute, so if he's playing himself, why is he married to Sonequa Martin Green, who's playing somebody else? Wouldn't she exist as the actress who plays Michael Burnham or Sasha or whatever? No, okay. So I'm not surprised by this. Is there anything important or useful in here? Don't blame the distribution strategy. No, the movies are crap. The movies are kind of crappy now. Quit popping up stuff. However, it's questionable whether we can blame the new version of the Coof to make us all scared and crawl inside and hide under blankets. It's 80 degrees outside. I'm tired of being afraid and hiding from everything, and I think everybody else is too. We just don't want to go and spend $20 to see a bad movie. And that's an average, given the ticket price and maybe a beverage or some popcorn or something. Who wants to spend that kind of money on a bad movie? Or a mediocre at best movie? Scores of C+ and B-. You want to save your hard-earned money for a ginormous, really good blockbuster. And when people went and saw Black Widow and Space Jam, they're like, you know what? These movies aren't that great. These movies aren't that great. Don't forget, when it comes to box office, it's all about product. And last week, it was clear that there was a segment of the audience who were eager to see the long-awaited sequel to 1996, spending $30 million at the box office. Heading into the weekend, Relish Mix noted a mixed positive response to the film. Now we're talking about Snake Eyes. A sarcastic cynicism runs thick about connecting the dots from Snake Eyes to the comic books, says the Analytics Corp. They're right. They're right, though. Rob's been covering that a lot on his channel. He's got a giant G.I. Joe documentary. If you miss the old Midnight's Edge style actual content, he's putting it out on his channel. And he's got a new panel. It's not a panel show. I know, not another panel show. That's even the name of it, because I keep calling it a panel show. Tune into that every Sunday. Yes, I'm plugging it. Old pulled in slightly more females than guys. Yeah, because girls really didn't want to see Snake Eyes, even though it's got pretty boy Henry Golding in it. Now, he's the villain of his own movie, not somebody you want a crappy root for. As much as Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins tries to make the silent ninja a hero, his selfish nature makes him a villain in his own story. Not only that, you swapped him out to make him a stereotype, which is what the creators didn't want in the first place. They wanted some actual progressive values. But no, we can't have that. Everything's back to segregation and fucking stereotypes now. Are we happy with that? Is that where we want to go as a society? Because I don't. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, the fact that I hate something means I'm supposed to hate everything of a certain thing. Or if I like one thing, I'm supposed to like No. Stereotypes are boring. So are labels. So are bad reboots and remakes and sequels and reimaginings and retellings, especially when it's going to be just a generic Asian stereotype man origin story, and that's what's going to be the same thing with Shang-Chi too. For crying out loud. With the G.I. Joe franchise being rebooted, fans were eager. No, they weren't, to see Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. I know, because Rob's been telling me all the time, no, I don't want to see an origin story. I want to read the comics. We begin to shape a new path in this universe where the terrorist cell Cobra works in the shadows. Ray Park's silent take on this is one of the few gems in the previous Paramount films. So Henry Golding, as the titular character, had big shoes to fill while exploring his beginnings. However, maybe we don't, do all these origin stories, especially when you're going to change them. However, as the film develops, the rivalry between Tommy and Snake Eyes is to show why the two eventually become enemies. Snake Eyes is surprisingly made into the villain of his own story. Fuck off with these bad movies. In the lore, Snake Eyes is a more altruistic figure across many cartoons and animated films. No matter what, he seems like an incorruptible paragon of virtue, who Duke and company can rely on any time. More so, he's a ninja of honor. His and Storm Shadow's brotherly bond from training with the, I cannot pronounce that, Arashikage, only broke when both warriors thought the other had killed the clan members, not realizing Cobra's Zartan was the true culprit. Sorry if I'm trying to read this is my vague memory of G.I. Joe, which I was, you guys know me, I was more of like a She-Ra and Pee-wee's Playhouse kind of, Gem and the Holograms. I mean, I was a girl in the 80s, so the whole G.I. Joe stuff, I could tell you from a girl's point of view here. They brought in him because a lot of women think he's pretty, and that defeats the purpose of the character. The character was like the helmet, wasn't he? He was the helmet to save money on plastic and paint and all that stuff. Snake Eyes is consumed by hate, driven by misplaced revenge. It's another damn revenge plot. And it's nothing short of a traitor who doesn't care about innocence. And the collateral damage. See, maybe they should have made him a white guy. Then they could blame him for being an old white dude. Because that's what they always love to do. Throughout Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, his main goal is to infiltrate. And I'm not going to try and pronounce that again. So they can hand over Augustine. It's basically a Dragon Ball plot, isn't it? So I can hand over Augustine, the man who killed Snake Eyes' dad when he was a kid. This turns Snake Eyes into a spy, lying and playing Tommy, who actually has good intentions. He brings Snake Eyes into the fold, treating him like a brother, but the ninja keeps plotting, willing to use anyone from Scarlet and the Joes to criminals like the Yakuza for his endgame. So I guess if you just want a generic martially artsy sort of Hollywood interpretation of that sort of story, sure, but we get better ones from the Far East in every circumstance, don't we? I mean, wouldn't you rather watch a subtitled movie from the region, like from Japan, than deal with, I don't know about you, but I certainly would. The way he betrays the Hard Master, Blind Master, and other clan members is also kind of heartbreaking. Is there a drunk one too? This is what they're doing? Are they really? This sounds terrible. G.I. Joe's origin story goes on. The ninja is nothing more than a bloodthirsty user manipulating the people who gave him that which he longed for most, a sense of family. Oh, nice. Ultimately, the way he earns Tommy's trust and then backstab him can't be forgiven. This causes an angry Tommy to use the Sun Jewel to stop Kenta and the Yakuza, as he simply realizes that everyone has the potential to betray him. This is why Hollywood writers are just bad at writing. This is more of the same example. People cannot tell a decent story half the time. It results in the clan banishing Tommy but being sympathetic towards Snake Eyes, who ironically charts a path filled with lies when his own dad held secrets of his own that carved out their tragedy-filled life. And worst of all, Snake Eyes' duplicity leaves Tommy vulnerable. So vulnerable that they can pounce on him to make him their deadly storm shadow. In that sense, it's easier to feel sorry for Tommy than for the selfish ninja who takes everything from his best friend. Oh, wow. Keep reading. I don't want to. I really don't want to keep reading. So if you want to keep reading, it just basically, he's a freaking bad guy. He's just a bad guy. Given its primary settings in Japan, the film excels as it plays more like a Yakuza movie. Yeah, just play the video games. I've got pretty much all of the Yakuza games. I've been playing Like a Dragon a little on Twitch here and there, and I'm not playing House Flipper for funsies. I want to get more into the Yakuza games. Encourage me to play them. Encourage me to stream them, especially over on Twitch. Follow me over there too. Luckily, the ensemble cast is likable enough to keep audience invested in the action, making something as familiar as a training montage engaging. So there's going to be a lot of generic bullshit in there and a couple of little things like, hey, there's the Cobra symbol. You like the Cobra symbol, don't you? You guys like the Cobra symbol. Snake Eyes G.I. Joe lovingly homages 80s action movies with a complete synth-heavy score. All right. And the film's unapologetic swagger. While G.I. Joe purists might not be able to overcome the traditionally silent and masked protagonist, being neither silent nor masked for the bulk of the film, this film unapologetically comes out swinging. Golding's portrayal of Snake Eyes is charismatic and his action scenes are fluid. So basically what they did was they decided to redo their entire lore and everything else just to appease a few of the ladies who think... You gotta do a little bit better if that's the whole reason why you're unmasking a character and ruining the entire lore, backstory, cartoon comics, all that crap. To tell this, I mean, if you're really, really, really gonna break something, you gotta make it a little bit better than the Snake Eyes origin story. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Mecha. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
And knowing is half the battle.